gentlemen, good morning and good afternoon at the same time. My name is Katarzyna Lipska, and I've been working for Katowice Special Economic Zone for over a decade as an investment specialist, also dealing with foreign investments. And today I have the honor of leading this very special meeting, the first introductory webinar titled Building the Bridges Between Polish and Brazilian Innovative Ecosystem. This is the first event in a series of upcoming online meetings aimed at supporting and promoting the Brasilesia acceleration program that is planned to be launched this autumn. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now thank you all for accepting our invitation to this event on behalf of its hosts and organizers, namely Katowice Special Economic Zone Co., Inventor Capital Limited, Spinas Limited, University of Silesia in Katowice, Federal University of Viçosa, Technology Park of Viçosa, Minas Gerais Investment and Trade Promotion Agency, INDI, and Papemigi. On behalf of all these institutions and companies, I would like to express special thanks to the representatives of the governments of both countries, Brazil and Poland, from the Ministry of Science, Technology, Innovation and Communications of Brazil, Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Polish Ministry of Economic Development, Labor and Technology. We are very pleased that you support our initiative, thus seeing its potential and opportunities. We would like to thank the Polish Ministry of Economic Development, Labor and Technology for taking patronage over this event. Taking in account the fact that the agenda of today's meeting is quite a rich one, now I would like to go straight to its first point, an opening ceremony. To save time and let you all focus on our honorable speakers, I would switch off my camera now and stay with you only through the microphone. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to welcome Mr. Paulo César Rezende de Carvalho Alvim, the Secretary of Entrepreneurship and Innovation in the Ministry of Science, Technology, Innovation and Communications of Brazil. Good morning, Mr. Secretary, and thank you once again for being with us today. I would like to invite you to take the floor now.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, friends of Poland. It's very important for us this opportunity. The international cooperation is very important to start the new business. The cross incubation is a strategic for this moment, the new economic. So congratulations the partners in this operation and success for the initiatives. Thanks for invitation, Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation. Success.
Thank you, Paulo.
Thank you for your speech, Mr. Secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, in this point of the agenda, we will hear a speech by Mr. Grzegorz Piechowiak, the Secretary of State in Polish Ministry of Economic Development, Labor and Technology, and the Government Plenipotentiary for Foreign Investments. Unfortunately, due to accumulation of official duties, Mr. Secretary had to cancel his presence at the meeting. Nevertheless, he would really like to share his welcome speech with you, and so he sent us a recording, which is going to be played now.
Z zadowoleniem przyjąłem inicjatywę Katowickiej Specjalnej Strefy Ekonomicznej i jej instytucji partnerskich, które inaugurują uruchomienie kompleksowego programu Brasilesia przeznaczonego dla startupów oraz sektora małych i średnich przedsiębiorstw. Program wpisuje się w politykę Ministerstwa Rozwoju, Pracy i Technologii. Dzięki takim inicjatywom staramy się wspierać współpracę gospodarczą z rynkami pozaunijnymi, pomagać w ekspansji międzynarodowej startupów i sektora małych i średnich przedsiębiorstw oraz we wzroście innowacyjności polskiej gospodarki. Przy tej okazji chciałbym również przypomnieć, że na zaawansowanym etapie jest utworzenie zagranicznego biura handlowego PAIH w São Paulo. Z zainteresowaniem obserwujemy także rozwój startupów w Brazylii, zwłaszcza tych z sektora fintech oraz takich programów jak Innovativa Brazil czy Startup Brazil. Jesteśmy przekonani, że wymiana wzajemnych doświadczeń będzie korzystna dla rozwoju tego sektora w obu krajach oraz przyczyni się do wzrostu wzajemnej współpracy gospodarczej. Cieszę się, że polscy przedsiębiorcy coraz bardziej interesują się Brazylią, która jest największym rynkiem południowoamerykańskim. Coraz lepiej rozwija się także współpraca inwestycyjna między naszymi krajami. Pomimo dużej odległości między Polską i Brazylią, polscy inwestorzy w Brazylii to nie tylko duże firmy, ale także startupy. Jesteśmy przekonani, że program Brasilesia pozwoli zwiększyć skalę polskiego eksportu do kraju i pogłębić polsko-brazylijską współpracę gospodarczą. Rozwój współpracy między Polską i Brazylią wymaga także wzmocnienia prawnego. Mamy nadzieję, że wkrótce zostanie wprowadzona w życie umowa o unikaniu podwójnego opodatkowania, co pozwoli zdynamizować wzajemną współpracę inwestycyjną. Jesteśmy także przekonani, że po podpisaniu umowy o wolnym handlu między Unią Europejską i Mercosur oraz po wejściu jej w życie nasza wzajemna współpraca bardziej się zacieśni. Natomiast organizatorom i uczestnikom programu Brasilesia życzę wielu sukcesów w rozwijaniu współpracy gospodarczej i naukowo-badawczej między Polską i Brazylią.
We are grateful to Mr. Secretary for his support at every stage of our activities and for taking the patronage of the event. Ladies and gentlemen, the circumstances made it impossible also to Mr. Paweł Jabłoński, the Undersecretary of State for Economic and Development Cooperation in the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to meet us today live. Therefore, we will now play the recording that Mr. Jabłoński would like to share with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for me to speak to you today on this very important event. Poland has always been very inspired to tighten bonds with Brazil, which is the unquestionable South American leader, both in terms of politics and economy. However, it is only recently, under the current administration of President Jair Bolsonaro, that our attitude has been duly reciprocated and a political dialogue has gained momentum. Ladies and gentlemen, Brazil is not only an important political ally for us, it is also our prospective economic partner. With the population of over 200 million and with the GDP at the level of 1.4 trillion US dollars, Brazil is ranked as the 9th world's biggest economy. And despite the negative impact of COVID-19 pandemic, strongly at the end of 2020, and the annual GDP growth rate is projected to average 2.6% over the next 3 years. A progressive increase in household consumption and investments, as well as recovery of retail sales and industrial production, will be factors that drive the growth of the economy. On the other hand, Poland offers economic stability and investment potential for Brazilian companies. Our country is considered to be one of the most economically stable and fastest developing countries in the world. Since 1999 and our transition to a free market economy, our GDP per capita has increased almost fivefold, and despite the slowdown caused by the pandemic, forecasts of Internationalization are very favorable for us, and they predict between 3.5 and 5% growth for the Polish economy in 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, Brazil is with no doubt our most important economic partner among Latin American economies and the second largest trading partner after the United States on both American continents. Over the last 10 years, our bilateral trade has increased almost tenfold, and in 2020, it reached the level of almost $2 billion. Trade statistics for the first 4 months of 2021 suggest that the slowdown in trade caused by the pandemic is over and that we are back on track to growth. The investment projects are another prospective area of bilateral cooperation. Just to name the examples of a few investments of Polish companies: Selena, Campak, Komando, Grupa Boryszew in Brazil, and also Brazilian company Stefanini in Poland. At first sight, Poland and Brazil may seem like distant partners in this area, but when we look closer, it's easy to notice how much more we have in common. Starting with the obvious, both Brazil and Poland are well known regionally and globally as excellent agricultural exporters. But both our countries have also vibrant startup ecosystems with such important science and technology centers as the cities of Sao Paulo, Warsaw, as also Katowice. Brazilian startup market is especially active in 2021, and it has already raised $3.2 billion in the first 5 months of the year, 90% of total in 2020, and an almost 4 times higher amount than the year before. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I would like to thank you for the invitation to this webinar. Let me wish you a fruitful discussion on prospects of Polish-Brazilian technological cooperation, and in particular, I wish the organizers of today's webinar to continue the efforts to strengthen the economic ties between our countries, and all the best in your new adventure with this new accelerator, Brasilesia accelerator. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the video. Ladies and gentlemen, now we were about to have to hear a welcome speech by Dr. Janusz Michałek, the president of the board of Katowice Special Economic Zone Co. But Mr. President is currently during a business trip, and unfortunately, due to some technical problems, cannot connect with us. He would like to apologize to everyone for his unexpected absence, and ask Mr. Rzeszowski from KSCC Co. To read the letter that he left for everyone. Mateusz, can you read the letter?
Thank you so much, of course. Dear ladies and gentlemen, firstly, I would like to sincerely thank the Brazilian and Polish partners for organizing this first introductory webinar opening a series of online meetings that are aimed at promoting the Polish-Brazilian accelerator pilot program called Brasilesia. The program, as you know, is dedicated for Polish and Brazilian SMEs and startups. The goal of Brasilesia is to create joint programs, offers, and tools that will stimulate the cooperation of Polish and Brazilian companies in creation of new products, new technologies, and will enable Polish and Brazilian entrepreneurs to enter and develop on the foreign market, giving innovators the chance to expand to a new market thanks to special soft landing program, verify the market potential of their products with experts from different countries, exchange of domain knowledge, find foreign business partners, customers, or distributors, recruit a team of foreign specialists, find technological partners among other universities and research institutions, create joint research and development projects, and of course, acquire new investors. Brasilesia carries out its mission by offering startups and SMEs a special acceleration program and sharing expert knowledge from both countries, presenting their culture through joint webinars, conferences, and workshops. I am convinced that the planned activities will be extremely fruitful and are the beginning of cooperation that will strengthen business contacts between our countries. For our part, we declare that we will provide support and help and share our 25 years of experience, during which, in recent years, the Katowice Special Economic Zone has become the best economic zone in Poland and Europe, and the second in the world, according to the Financial Times. Katowice Special Economic Zone has won as many as 5 awards in the latest FDA Intelligence Report, Global Free Zones Rankings for 2020. The international jury has distinguished the Katowice Special Economic Zone in the following categories: infrastructure development, new investments, skills development, intelligent strategies, and excellent talent base. Currently, there are over 450 companies operating in the zone, which together invested approximately 42 billion Polish zloty and created 80,000 jobs. The Katowice Special Economic Zone has so far issued 590 business permits and 140 decisions on support under the new regulations on the Polish investment zone. 2020 was a record year despite the pandemic. Our investors have started implementation of as many as 57 projects worth over 1.2 billion euro. These companies will employ 1.5 thousand new employees and will maintain the current employment at the level of 6.4 thousand employees. That is a record in the history of Katowice Special Economic Zone despite the COVID-19. I sincerely hope that in cooperation with Brazilian partners, Brasilesia will achieve joint goals and will become a recognizable brand in both Poland and Brazil. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Mateusz, for your speech. Ladies and gentlemen, a speech by Mr. Ryszard Koziołek, the head of the University of Silesia, was planned at this point, but due to official duties, Mr. Koziołek cannot connect with us live. However, as in the previous case, we are in disposition of a video that Mr. Rector would like to share with us.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Ryszard Koziołek. I'm rector of University of Silesia, Katowice, Poland. Let me say a few words about the place where I am. Katowice is the capital of Upper Silesia region, Poland, the most innovative and full of industry and good tradition, work tradition and industry tradition in Poland. Now we are changing very rapidly. And I hope that we are the best partners for innovation and for scientists who are looking for the new opportunities. Let me say a few words about this day and this meeting. For a long time, along with Katowice Special Economic Zone, spin-off of the University of Silesia, the Inventor Capital, Venture Capital, and in cooperation with Brazilian partners, we undertook actions to prepare and execute of Brasilesia Joint Pilot Acceleration Program, which aims to build a bridge between Polish and Brazilian innovating ecosystem. The program is addressed to Polish and Brazilian young companies, startups, scientists looking for solutions to specific problems, dealing with common research and work issues, and searching for scientific and business partners. The university works in an open university formula, which is take place where scientists, inventors, visionaries, and entrepreneurs can meet and enter into cooperation. Such cooperation between people who share the same interests and complements, each offer the knowledge and competence, can result in the joint development of new inventions, products and services. In order to bring together people with entities with similar interests under the open university idea, we will organize seminars and webinars during which inventors, scientists, and entrepreneurs can share their interests and results of their work. One of them is today's webinar, opening the creation of Brasilesia Accelerator. The prepared program, tools, and support will bring many benefits to Polish and Brazilian entrepreneurs and allow for fruitful cooperation and development of ambitious companies and global potential. The university is an important partner in the Silesian ecosystem of innovation. Therefore, it's important to create opportunities for Polish-Brazilian cooperation in the field of research and development. The Brasilesia program creates yet another chance for international project which can be commercialized in the industry thanks to joint acceleration activities. It's worth adding that University of Silesia will have an opportunity to actively shape and restore industry and society. The industry, which is progressive, and show how applied technological innovations can be used for mutual good. I would like to wish all of you great meeting, fruitful discussion, and all good. Stay healthy for the next future. I hope we will meet you again in real time at real place. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for the video. We do believe that cooperation between science and business is a key that opens the door to innovations. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now introduce Mr. Francisco Murillo Zerbini, Jr., advisor to the Dean of Research and Graduate Studies at Federal University of Viçosa, who is representing the Dean, Mr. Demetrios David da Silva, during today's event. Good morning, Mr. Professor. Thank you that you are with us today. I invite you to take the floor.
Thank you, and good morning to Brazilians. Good afternoon to our colleagues in Poland. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you today on behalf of our Chancellor or Rector, Professor Demetrios, and our Dean of Research and Graduate Studies, Professor Raul. I salute you and welcome you all to this webinar. To me personally, it's a real pleasure to be able to talk to you in this event. I grew up in a city in the south of Brazil called Curitiba that has a very large community of descendants from Poland. In fact, I should tell you that I was baptized by a Polish priest. That was a friend of my family. And I went to school with all these kids that have these very long last names that I couldn't pronounce, but eventually I learned to pronounce them. Morozowski was my friend that I still remember him. But today I'm here, of course, to talk to you about our university, the Federal University of Viçosa, which is far away from the south of Brazil, actually. We're located in the southeast of our country. Our university is a medium-sized university in terms of Brazilian standards. We have about 18,000 undergraduate students, 3,000 graduate students. UFV started as a agricultural school almost 100 years ago. And today it's a comprehensive university with courses in all different areas of knowledge. Still has its main strength in agricultural research. But as I said, it has courses and active research programs in all areas of knowledge. Our school has a culture of academic excellence in research, in teaching, and in extension. We're one of the very few Brazilian federal universities located in a small town outside of the large cities. We believe this is one of our strengths, actually, because our faculty and our students dedicate 100% of their time to the university. We really live the academic life here, and we believe that's a very positive thing for us. Over the last 10 or 15 years, there's been two main axes in our university that the administrations are doing as much as they can to strengthen. The first one is internationalization, which is very relevant to what we're doing here today. As I said, we have about 500 international students at UFV, mostly from Latin American countries and from Portuguese-speaking Africa. But we're trying to attract more students and scientists from other parts of the world. Of course, the pandemic brought many challenges to that type of thing, but also a few opportunities. We're trying to take advantage of these opportunities. Of course, online communication is one of them. So we're very keen on any initiative that increases internationalization of our university, and the Office of Graduate Studies will do anything that's possible to assist on that regard. Now, the other axis is innovation and entrepreneurship, which of course is the main topic of today's webinar. And on that regard, you were in the excellent hands of Professor Adriana Faria and her team at Centevi, and I'm absolutely confident that they will handle today's discussions in the best possible way. Of course, I know you don't want to keep hearing an administrator talk here today, so I just want to really to give you this brief introduction on our university and welcome everybody to this event, and hope really that in the near future we'll be able to have another event, maybe in person, either here in Viçosa, where we will be very glad to host you, or maybe in Poland, which if I'm privileged enough to attend, it will make me very happy. Thank you very much, and have a good event, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Zerbini, for the very interesting speech and description of activities of your university. And this speech is actually ending the first panel of the agenda. Now we can efficiently move to the second point of the event, reconnecting the world, big opportunities for Polish-Brazil business cooperation. What can we do together? Now I would like to invite Mr. Ivan Pinto from the Marketplace Intelligence Management of the Minas Gerais Investment and Trade Promotion Agency, INDI, to give a presentation on big opportunities for Polish-Brazil business cooperation. Good morning to you, Mr. Pinto, and thank you for your willingness to present the topic. Please take the floor.
Well, hello, good morning to everyone in Brazil. Good morning to the friends in Poland right now. I'm really delighted and honored to be here today representing the Minas Gerais State Investment Promotion Agency. But most importantly, I would like to congratulate this initiative, the Brasilesia initiative, which counts with so many good and relevant partners such as the KSSE, Invento, Spinos, the University of Silesia, and of course our colleagues here in Brazil from the Technopark and the UFB University. So I would like, first of all, to emphasize that on behalf of the Minas Gerais state government, and we're going to have one of our colleagues later presenting here today, and also on behalf of the Investment Promotion Agency, we fully support this initiative. We think it's very relevant that we explore international initiatives like this so that we can connect our companies, connect our critical thinkers, and connect all these initiatives to promote the economic development of our regions. But I understand that I'm here to talk a little bit about Brazil and a little bit about Minas Gerais more specifically. We're gonna have the opportunity later on from our colleague Agnieszka, who will be talking a little bit about the Polish side. So I would like to go back to some of the basics first about how and why I think that this initiative is very important for both countries. As you may know, Brazil is one of the largest economies in the world. We are, by 2019 rankings, we're the 9th largest world economy. We have a very large population with over 210 million inhabitants. And most importantly, there is one statistics that I really like, which is the fact that when you take into account and you do a poll with CEOs around the world where they would like to do business in the next 12 months, Brazil will always be listed in this list, in this short list. And currently, according to the last PwC survey in 2020, last year, Brazil ranks number 9, which means that everyone wants to do business in Brazil because we are a very relevant player in terms of FDI inflows, in terms of consumption market, in terms of the innovation that we see in this country. But also, I'm here to talk a little bit about Minas Gerais. And I understand that not so many people are fully aware of the capabilities and the strengths of our state in other countries. So Minas Gerais is an inland state in Brazil. We have a very big territorial extension with almost 600,000 square kilometers, which makes us larger than Spain or France. And we also have a population of roughly 21 million inhabitants, which make us number 2 in Brazil. And with that comes other statistics that are very relevant for doing business in Brazil. Because of that, we have the 2nd largest consumer market. We are also the 2nd largest exporter, and we have the 2nd largest industry in Brazil, even though we are the 3rd largest economy. And of course, we also... we also like to say that Minas Gerais is the logistical state of Brazil. This is because we have very good connectivity and infrastructure. We have the largest highway network in Brazil. We have the second largest rail network in Brazil. And if you consider radius, let's say a 1 hour flight radius from our capital city, Belo Horizonte, you will find roughly 50% of the Brazilian GDP just around us, and about 40% of the Brazilian population, as well as about half of all consumption in the country takes place very, very close to Minas Gerais. And Minas Gerais has a very diversified economy. We are one of the agribusiness powerhouses in Brazil. We have roughly 14% of Brazilian agribusiness GDP in 2018. We are the third largest food producer in Brazil. And of course, we have a lot of agricultural production that make us number one and number two. And Minas Gerais is also very famous for mining. Actually, our name, Minas, in Portuguese, actually means mining. And we are very strong in strategic minerals as well as iron ore production. So today, Minas Gerais is the largest producer of iron, gold, phosphate. We have some strategic minerals that are very relevant in today's economy, such as niobium, which we have the largest reserve in production worldwide. We have graphite, which we have almost 100% of the national production, and lithium, which make us one of the global leaders as well, with almost half all of the national reserves and productions. Now I'm going to mention just two other sectors, just to give you a glimpse of how diversified our economy is. So if you take into account automotive and auto parts, we have the second largest vehicle production in Brazil. We're the second largest consumer market and the second largest employer and producer in auto parts. Now going to some of the new economy sectors like life sciences. We currently rank number 3 in pharma industry in Brazil, and we have the second largest biotech hub. So I'm saying all of this to point out that we have a very diversified economy, and that is only possible because we have a very strong human capital here. Minas Gerais currently holds the largest number of federal universities in Brazil, and 3 out of the 10 best federal universities are based in Minas Gerais now. But of course, we have many other institutions, higher education institutions here. Only public, we have about 20 more. And if you consider business schools, we are honored to have one of the very best business schools in the world based here now in Minas Gerais, which is the Foundation Dom Cabral, FDC. And because all of that, we have state-of-the-art R&D here in Minas Gerais. If you just consider, Google has its only research and development center in Latin America here in our state. Embraer, one of the largest airplane producers in the world, they have a software development center here. Stellantis, they actually run a 4.0 industry and design center here in Minas Gerais. Inatel and Huawei currently running 5G research here. So Minas Gerais has all the conditions to make all this business prosper. And this is all backed up by the numbers we have. If we take into consideration just the investments that we attracted to Minas Gerais between January 2019 and June 2021, we have reached over 129 billion reais in investments, creating over 61,000 jobs. And in all different sectors, I would like to mention a few sectors here, but automotive is very strong here, life sciences, as I just said, renewable energies, especially solar PV. We are number 1 in Brazil. E-commerce, our efforts have been just recognized by very large multinationals, such as Amazon, that is now establishing distribution centers in our state. And then food industries, beverage, and of course, minerals and mining. And all of that is also backed up internationally because we have so many international companies based here. To this date, we have attracted over 400 projects from 30 different countries. Today, the top 5 international investors in Minas Gerais are Italy, France, the United States, China, and the UK. But we certainly hope that we can have more investments from Polish companies, and INDI, as the Minas Gerais Investment Promotion Agency, will be here to support this effort. Now, I'll try to if it's possible, I'll share my screen just to show you a few slides concerning startup companies. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is we're now talking more specifically about the startup and this accelerator program. We're very confident it will be successful. I was just checking some numbers now, and as you may know already, Brazil is one of the top places for startups in the world right now. If you consider the percentage of population involved in startups right now, we have the US, Canada, India, and Brazil as the largest nations supporting startups at this moment. And these numbers have been growing consistently. If we just consider all the investment, all the startups that have been created in Brazil recently, you can see from 2012 to 2020 that has been a huge growth in startup businesses. And in many varied sectors, not only education and finance, which you can see in this slide that actually ranks #1 and #2 in the share of startups, but in very diversified sectors as health as wellness, internet, e-commerce, media, and agribusiness. So I believe there are many opportunities in so many sectors for this acceleration program right now. And of course, Brazil is also one of the most important countries for unicorns in Latin America. If you see here the top companies receiving, the top unicorn companies in Latin America, you're going to see that most of them are based in Brazil, which shows us very clearly about the potential that we have to support this initiative here. And finally, one last slide that I found it very interesting. If you consider the distribution of venture capital investment in Latin America last year, you're going to be seeing that Brazil is actually responsible for almost 60% of all venture capital in Latin America. So in short, we are very confident about this initiative. I would like to put INDI at your disposal to support in any issues that you may need. As you can see, we're investment promotion agencies, and we have a range of services to support companies in Brazil. And I think the most important ones that we can support this acceleration program is connections. We will be able to connect the startups that are being accelerated with some other companies in our state that can become potential partners or potential clients. And we'll be waiting for these opportunities to make this happen. So in short, this is what I wanted to present today. Once again, I would like to thank you for this opportunity, and I wish great success for this acceleration program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pinto, for introducing us in the specific of Minas Gerais state. And we can see that there are many similarities between the region of Silesia and Minas Gerais state, and the similar origins in the mining industries and the paradigm of developing into the modern industry. Thank you very much once again. Keeping this all in mind, we now will be moving to the point earmarked for startup ecosystem. Thank you. Of course, Mr. Pinto has also introduced us into the startup ecosystem idea. And now I have an honor to welcome Mr. Pedro Emboava Vaz from Technological Innovation Superintendence at the Secretariat for Economic Development of the Minas Gerais state, who will have a presentation and speech on how Poland and Brazil can support to start and develop innovative startups?
Exactly.
Mr. Vasquez, yeah, please take the floor.
Thank you once again for the invitation. For us, it's a great pleasure to be here and to help you all understand a little bit more about how Minas Gerais, the state of Minas Gerais in general, is helping to foster innovation and great startups here. And of course, that would not be different with the help of UFV, the Federal University of Viçosa, especially with the technological park that is led by Professor Adriana, that is doing a really amazing, outstanding job in fostering innovation, fostering the development of those kind of companies here at our state, especially doing the interface, not only helping them to develop through the stage of an idea or through the stage of a research into a business, but also connecting that business with largest companies that are here on our state. So that's to be said, and to make sure that we all understand that the Federal University of Viçosa is not only doing a great job, but it's a really great place to be if you want to develop your business, your startup, especially in the agriculture side of things, forest, and some other areas as well that I'm sure you all will know and understand a little bit more about later on during this presentation or in the next webinars as well. I'd like to first of all introduce myself. My name is Pedro Emboava. I'm right now currently at the role of Superintendent of Technological Innovation here at the state of Minas Gerais, especially inside of the Secretary of State of Economic Development. So for us, it's a great pleasure to be here. Inside of this superintendency, basically what we do is we help to foster, manage, and to develop the public policies regarding startups, technological companies, accelerators, VCs, venture capitalists, angel investors, but also we help foster innovation inside medium and large size companies, but also inside of the government in itself. So right now, I just prepare a glimpse, a presentation for you to have take a look at what we are doing here at the state level, but also to give you guys a little bit of a context of Minas Gerais regarding innovation. Yvonne just did a great job explaining a little bit more about the context in general of the state of Minas Gerais, but also he started to touching in a few points about the innovation ecosystem here. But for me, it would be a pleasure if I can explain to you a little bit more about what we have here and what we can do here to help you all inside this project that is Brasilesia, to help you all develop your ideas, develop your businesses in Minas Gerais in general. So I'm confident that you all are looking at my screen right now, and I'm presenting, I have a presentation on, right? Okay, I'll take the silence as a yes.
Yes, everything is okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, if you have any difficulties in hearing me or seeing me, please just say so. So to give you a little bit of context, Yvonne just did a great job explaining it. I'll just pinpoint a few things about the state of Minas Gerais in general. We have a significantly lower cost of living than the state of São Paulo, that is the largest state here in Brazil. So we have it's a really not I think it's a great place to be, not only for doing business, but for living as well. We have a few economic sectors that are really strong here at our state. For example, agriculture, industry in general, as Ivan mentioned, Celentis, we will discuss a little bit more about it as well. But Celentis with the automotive industry in general, we have mining, steel manufacturing, and a few others that are really booming. here at the state level. So if you're doing businesses or are looking for starting companies in this sector, I really understand that you'll be really well served here. Also, biotech and life sciences even also mentioned. We are the first or the second biohub, and in Brazil in general, we have, for example, the Federal University of Viçosa developed a few of great companies that ended up being sold for different different companies later on the development their development. But also we have like retail is really big, really big sector here at the state level as well. And I think it's really important for you all to understand that at the state level, we also have a few of public policies to foster innovation in the state of Minas Gerais in general. We just did a few, we just changed a few of our legislations to facilitate to the state government to buy services from startups, not having like the whole bureaucratic process that we usually have when the state government is buying something from a company. We just developed a fast track, a kind of a fast track way to for the company to test, do a POC, a proof of concept inside the state government. We understand if that technology is really making our jobs in our lives easier or maybe better. For example, if we're lowering the costs of doing a specific process, or even maybe doing a public policy in a better way or in a higher quality. So after doing this proof of concept, we can initialize a contract phase with the startup, not having all the bureaucratic process that we usually have. So we just did this change in the legislation and the regulation. So just for you, I think that's a really good example for you all to understand how the state government and the Minas Gerais state in general is really looking forward to foster innovation, foster startup companies to be built here in the state level. But also, as Ivan mentioned, I'll need to point out a few of the innovation hubs that we have here in Brazil in general. We have a lot of our largest and medium-sized companies developing those kind of innovation hubs. And the Federal University of Viçosa is doing a really great job, especially with the companies that are in the agriculture sector, the forest sector, to help them understand how they can build those innovation hubs as well. I just brought here a few of the 23 examples that we have here in different sectors. But I would like to assure you that those are really large-sized companies that are looking forward to innovate through the relationship between themselves and startups, or maybe themselves and the academia. So I think you all will be really well served here. We have, for example, banks, the financial sector. It's it's really looking forward to those kind of connections and those kind of innovations. For example, the BS2 banks, MER banks, the Minas Gerais Development Bank with OS Bank. They developed this hub that is a innovation hub that is based here at Minas Gerais as well. BMG Bank that is also doing this kind of innovation hub. But we also have, for example, companies that are in the car rental, civil construction companies, or even hospitals. They're building those innovation hubs to create the relationship with the startups in general. Steel manufacturing companies, mining companies are doing this, health insurance company as well. I think I can go on and on and on and on here, but I understand that I made my point that our private sector, especially medium and large sized companies from usually traditional per se sectors, are looking forward and are doing relationships, are making those relationships with startups to hire their services, invest on them, and in some cases even acquiring them. So I think that will be a really good opportunity for you all to come to Minas Gerais and to see that for yourselves, but also to help those businesses made. That is why we are here today, right? As well as that, as Ivan mentioned, we have a few of really interesting cases of R&D centers that are located here at the state level of Minas Gerais. For example, as Ivan mentioned, the first R&D center in Latin America and the second outside of the United States is based in Minas Gerais. The R&D center of Google, of course, is based on Minas Gerais, especially because Google acquired a company that was built in by professors from the Federal University of Minas Gerais in the beginning of the years 2000. And by doing that, they install a R&D center in Minas Gerais, and still to this day, they still are working on it. It is still the R&D center of Minas Gerais and Latin America for Google. We have over 250 engineers, software engineers working here for this company, and this was a really interesting and a really big case that we have here, and represents why we are, as the state of Minas Gerais, really proud and really understand that innovation and technology is on our DNA in general. As Ivan also mentioned, the Celentis R&D Center is based here as well. Stellantis was originally Fiat, that is a car manufacturing company from Italy, and they did a few of mergers and acquires of other car manufacturing companies. And right now is Stellantis. But here we have a world-class center installed in Minas Gerais. That is a center for developing solutions in IoT, Internet of Things, big data, robotics, artificial intelligence, especially focused on Industry 4.0, and that is a really interesting thing to see and to understand, because not only because this is Celentis is a global company, and their center for developing those kind of technologies is based in Minas Gerais specifically. As Ivan also mentioned, the Embraer Engineering and Technology Center is also here at the state level. At the state of Minas Gerais. They're really doing a great job developing technology for aircrafts in general. But also we have a few of really big companies, IT companies, that I think you all probably know a few of them, but I just want you all to get understand a little bit more about them. So Minas Gerais is the second state in number of concentration of IT companies in Brazil. We have over 36,000 employees in the IT sector, and we have over 800 software licensing companies. And we have like a few of the really big companies, IT companies of the world here installed in Minas Gerais in general. Accenture, Algar Telecom, that is a telecom company, IBM, Siemens, and Stefanini, as was mentioned before, TOTUS, Google, all of them are at the state of here in Minas Gerais. But we also have a really booming ecosystem of startups that are being developed since the beginning of the year 2000, and for our experience are really took off in the maybe 2012, 2011. So right now we're seeing really rise in the number of startups. We have over 1,000 startups at the state of Minas Gerais. And when we think about in Brazil in general, we have, if I'm not mistaken, over 15,000 startups in Brazil in general. And we are seeing a growth in the number of startups here at the state of Minas Gerais as well. And we understand that this, of course, that's before, a little bit before COVID, but we think that is due to the, not only that entrepreneurship and startups in general are right now really being captured in traditional media, in newspaper and all those other traditional media, but also we understand that our universities are doing a really great job to developing students that have this entrepreneurial mindset that can build and not only can build technology, but also understand the business behind it and really develop it. Also, still talking about the startup in general ecosystem here at the state of Minas Gerais, we have this case that is São Pedro Valley, that is basically a movement that started in Minas Gerais in 2011. That right now, all of them are really large size companies. For example, Hotmart acquired 3 companies in 2020, including Teachable, that is from the US, with 20 acquiring them in $12.5 million in funding. And also right now they're valued at over $1 billion, and it's still a private company. So we have a unicorn here at the state of Minas Gerais. Rock Content acquires Scribble Live, that is from Canada, by tens of millions of dollars. Hekima got acquired by iFood. There is also a really large company, the delivery company in Brazil. Melius is initializing an IPO. Actually, they did an IPO last year. So we have a few of really great cases of companies that were startups, and they started this movement of startups here at the state of Minas Gerais. And right now we're developing in big companies that had a lot of funding and are building not only capabilities to develop themselves, but also are employing a lot of people, and they are still with the same mindset that they did have before, that is the collaboration mindset. So I'm sure and I'm positive that if you all came down to Minas Gerais to develop your businesses, I think, and if you come to Minas Gerais and if you are located in the right places, for example, the technological park of the Federal University of Viçosa, you definitely will have a lot of this collaboration mindset built on, and you will feel and understand a little bit more about how this collaboration mindset can transform itself in actual results for your business in general. So we have a lot of not only companies in the metropolitan area of Belo Horizonte, but we also have companies divided in all different regions in Brazil, in Minas Gerais in general, and especially when we're thinking of Zona da Mata, that is the region that Viçosa is staying. We have a lot of companies, a lot of startup companies are here. When we're looking at the state level, we have a more concentrated area in the metropolitan area of Belo Horizonte, that is the capital of the state. But we do have a few other cities and regions that are really booming in this startup ecosystem, and definitely Zona da Mata, the area where Viçosa is located, are one of them. We also have a lot of accelerators, great accelerators, pre-accelerators, accelerators, and also venture builders. They are helping startups to develop themselves. They have over 30 across the state of Minas Gerais. A few of them are segmented by a different sector, for example, Construtech or AgTech, or a few other of those. And we do look at it as a really an interesting way to develop and to be specialized in different sectors to actually provide value to the companies that are being accelerated or being developed here. And as we mentioned before, Tech Park is doing that gracefully. So I think that will be a really great opportunity for you all. And we also have a lot of venture capital firms that are here and at our state, and we are, as the state government of Minas Gerais, of course, looking to help build more capability for the venture capitalists to invest in tech businesses and that are on the state of Minas Gerais in general. Just here are a few of those investors that are in Minas Gerais in general. And of course, we have to look at the universities, as was mentioned also by Yvonne. We have 3 of the 10 best public universities in Brazil in general. We have the largest number of federal universities in Brazil, and federal universities in Brazil specifically, they are the best ones. We have, of course, a lot of good universities. There are private ones, but most of the top students go to federal universities. And here at the state of Minas Gerais, we have 17 of them. We have 3 public state-owned universities. We have 3 public municipality-owned universities, but we do also have a few 331 higher education institutions across Minas Gerais in general. So we are sure that right now we here are building not only great companies, because we have all the medium and large size companies are looking at those kind of startups and are develop themselves and are looking forward to have this relationship. So the market is really looking at those startups right now, but we also understand that we are doing that because we are helping to develop great leaders, great entrepreneurs, and great people there will be working for those companies all across the state of Minas Gerais in general. Here we also have a lot of students that are graduating in STEAM areas, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics. A few of them are doing also and are graduating in businesses, but we do have a lot of STEAM students that are graduating here in Minas Gerais. So we know that this is a issue for basically all tech companies. It's not different here in Brazil or in Minas Gerais in general, but we are confident that we are helping to graduate a lot of those students, and we understand that they will be going to those companies not only to earn a lot of money, but also to develop great businesses. And last but not least, we'll talk a little bit about the incubators and technological parks that are here in our state in different areas. So we have over 20 incubators. They are all organized in a kind of a network, the innovation network of Minas Gerais, that is led, of course, by Professor Adriana. Here, those incubators are almost all the time related to a university to help the university, not only the researchers from the university, to develop those researchers into a business model, into a businesses, but also to help the businesses that are located in those incubators or are located on those technological parks to have a close relationship to the highest developed knowledge that is being developed inside those universities. And of course, Centevi, that is the incubator from the university, the Federal University of Viçosa, is one of the most recognized and most active one. So I think you'll be well served in Viçosa. And last but not least, sorry, we have a few technological parks that are already developed and are implemented. As mentioned, the Technological Park of Viçosa, the Technological Park of Belo Horizonte, the Technological Park of Itajubá, and the Technological Park of Uberaba. But also we have a few of those technological parks that are still on the pre-operational phase, and they're developing themselves right now. And once again, those are really interesting hubs for you all to connect yourselves, to not only have this relationship with the university and the knowledge that is being built there, but also to understand a little bit more and have this collaboration sense and mindset with the different companies that are already there, and also to have and to present yourselves as a mature company that is, or a well-ready company to have the relationships with medium and large-size companies here at our state, or maybe even with investors. Well, I think the two last things that I want to mention is a few of our projects and programs that we have at the state government of Minas Gerais to help develop startups. The first of all is the SEED program, that is an equity-free startup accelerator program that is being, we started it in 2013, where we basically, we opened this cohort that startups and entrepreneurs from all around the globe can apply to. And after that, we select a few of those companies to come to Minas Gerais. We usually make them come to Minas Gerais to be here for 6 months, where we help them to develop their businesses, develop their entrepreneurial mindset, connect them with the ecosystem in general. We also connect them with potential clients from the public or the private sector. And we also connect them with DCs and angel investors for them to have fundings. Also, in this case particular, we not only make them come to Minas Gerais, but we also provide funding for them, and 80,000 reais in funding, equity free. We do not ask for anything in return, but what we want to make sure, we want to try to make them do, is to develop great businesses, to interact with the companies and startups from Minas Gerais, to exchange knowledge. And also we want them to make a lot of businesses for them to stay here at the state of Minas Gerais, but we do not make that as a, we do not demand them to stay. We wish them stay because they have great businesses going around here. Right now, so we have over 180 startups that were accelerated, 36 were foreign. We have over 400 entrepreneurs that participated. We have over 2,000 jobs created. Actually, that number is a little bit, it's not precise. We have actually over 60 million reais of VC invested post-program. We have a lot of companies that participate in this program that got acquired afterwards, that merged with the largest companies. So we have a few exits from this program. And the last batch, the total revenue of the startups accelerated were 5 million reais. And this batch that we are doing a batch right now with 59 startups, we actually open up a few of our challenges, the state government challenges. And by doing that, we are asking for the entrepreneurs, the tech entrepreneurs specifically, to help the government to fix or to maybe try to solve a few of our largest challenges. And those challenges are not only posed by the Secretary of Economic Development, but also by the Minas Gerais Development Bank, by the Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Environment in general, for the Secretary of Infrastructure. So we have a lot of state institutions posing and presenting those challenges for the entrepreneurs, and so the entrepreneurs can adapt their products to the reality of the government. And this last month, in June, those companies actually had a revenue of over 3 million reais. And we help them, of course, to connect themselves to those companies, connect themselves to potential clients. And we do understand that we help them doing that, but we also know that being in the state or having those connections in the state of Minas Gerais, in general, is really helping them to develop themselves. And of course, we're getting all of the things that we learn doing that, and we are helping, and we are in this partnership with Adriana from the Federal University of Viçosa in Brasilesia. We're actually taking all of that we learn, all of the things, all the connections that we have, and providing that to the Brasilesia. So I'm sure that all of you that will participate in this program will also have those kind of results, those kind of connections here in Minas Gerais. And of course, once again, last but not least, we also have a hub MG, that's basically a program that we do open innovation for medium and large size companies, but also for the state of Minas Gerais, the public sector, helping to connect those challenges with startups. And we are helping, of course, we will help you all that are participating in the Brasilesia program to connect yourselves with medium and large size companies in the state of Minas Gerais. So you can not only have great businesses, but you can develop wonderful startups here in Minas Gerais. And we are happy to help you do so. Once again, I would like to thank Adriana for the invitation, and also to thank you all for being and participating today. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. And once again, I think for us at the state of Minas Gerais, we are trying to develop a state that is most of all things entrepreneur friendly, especially for those entrepreneurs from tech companies. And if you please let us do and help you do the work that is so important for our state in general. Once again, thank you very much. I'll be more than happy to answer a few questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vaz, for sharing so much information in your presentation. The growth of startups in recent years that you have shown is really significant and impressive. Now we will have an opportunity to take a look at Poland as the European Hub for Innovation and Technology projects. In the presentation that is going to be now by Ms. Agnieszka Szweda, the expert from the Polish Investment and Trade Agency. Good morning, madam. Thank you for being with us today, and please take the floor.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's a great pleasure for me to be here, to be part of this bridge, and to have this of sharing some information about Poland and about the technological trends that we observe in our agency. At the start, let me introduce who I am and what our agency does. Our agency, Polish Investment and Trade Agency, is the main government agency of Poland, which assists in development of business for Polish companies in Poland and abroad, and also for foreign companies in Poland. So we have two pillars of our activity. One pillar is related to Polish business, and we help in exports and investments. But another pillar, which I represent, is attracting FDI investments into Poland. And I will be happy to share some observations, insights regarding the investments that we assist in our investment center, where I work. So let me share some information about the portfolio, about the projects, because it shows interesting trends that go on in Poland. In our portfolio nowadays, we have companies practically from all over the world. What is interesting, we have a lot of companies now from Belarus, but these are the IT companies. Because as you may already know, Poland is full of programmers, Polish people that are skilled in IT, but we have so many projects in technology sphere that we need more IT companies and IT people. So Poland introduced special program for Belarus. And since last year, we are attracting Belarusian IT businesses to Poland. This is the reason why you see Belarus on the first place in our portfolio. It overpassed American investors that used to be always number one. So apart from American investors and Belarusian, we assist a lot of Polish companies. We have a lot of Asian investors. And when it comes to portfolio of sectors that we work on, it's interesting that the sector number one is related strictly to technology. It's modern services sector, shared service sector, is also electromobility sector. So these sectors are rapidly developing in Poland and attracting a lot of activities of domestic and also foreign companies. So our investment center currently have less than 200 projects, so we are very busy. What is interesting, last year, in spite of COVID, we were again busy. We didn't actually observe any reduction in the projects or interest from investors. On the contrary, actually, we have even more work than usually when it comes to technology-based projects. About the R&D sector, this is interesting because Poland in the past was usually perceived as a country where we had primarily production investments, production projects. What we have seen in recent years is growing interest in technology projects and also R&D activities. So this sector is really significantly growing nowadays, and it used to be like a very niche sector, but it's no longer the case. It's one of the actually main sectors that we now work on. And last year also brought some interesting big R&D projects. And so as you can see, even last year, we observed the projects from R&D of the highest so far value. What is interesting among the active projects that we are now assisting, among them, there is one project from Brazil. So hopefully it will be, it will initiate more cooperation between our countries. About this R&D, some more information. What we are pleased to note what is happening. As I said, we see a growing number of R&D activities. This map that you see in that slide shows you the progress that Poland has made in the recent 10 years. When you look at the left-hand side map, this map shows you Poland 10 years ago. So when it comes to R&D activities, you could see hardly any of them, hardly any of such big projects. But after 10 years, there are so many projects from R&D side that it's very hard for us to show them all on the map. So actually the projects, the logos that you see on the right-hand side on the map, it's not, of course, all, but it shows you the progress and the huge change that has happened to Poland in the last 10 years. Now we have about 30 really huge R&D centers of international companies that develop IT products, AI products, different technologies. We have big corporations such as IBM, Nokia, Intel, Motorola. What is interesting and what we are very proud of is that Poland is very often chosen by those big players for the crucial center that is one of the biggest in the world or is second biggest outside of home country. So we are very proud that those products, services, technologies that are developed in Poland, later they are implemented all over the world. Here you see some of the big names, that big players that are present. The R&D centers in Poland, they are really huge. Sometimes they, like Nokia Center, employs 4,000 people. We have autonomous vehicle technology developed in Krakow by Aptiv company, employing more than 5,000 people. All those people are big talents. They are technologists, R&D specialists. So Poland is really like a digital valley, I can say, based on the latest trends and latest developments. This map shows you the IT business and R&D activities that are performed in the IT sector. You can see that all over the country we have projects that do R&D of IT companies. Katowice, Silesia is among the regions attracting a big number of such R&D centers. So we see that Warsaw, Krakow, Katowice, Wrocław, they are the cities that attract most of such technology investors. Why Poland actually for such technology projects? Why investors choose Poland? Let me share the main reasons why. Some of the reasons they seem to be obvious, such as location. We are very lucky. I would say that Poland is really in the very heart of Europe and ensures excellent connections between the east of Europe and the west. It has also excellent connections. You can move between Poland and other European countries and also outside of Europe with some destinations very easily. We have a lot of connections. We have international flights. We have 13 airports. 4 of them serve intercontinental flights. So all this facilitates a lot of business between Poland and the rest of the world. So this is the location is number one. Of course, the population is number 2 reason. We are the biggest in Central Eastern Europe. 40% of the Central Eastern European population live in Poland. But another reason is the economy. The economy has been steadily, very steadily growing since the beginning of the transformation until of course the pre-COVID year. Of course, the COVID was the first year that Polish economy actually went down. But before COVID, we never experienced any single crisis, which is outstanding achievement when you look at European Union countries. Even in the COVID year, last year, we were among those countries in EU that recorded the smallest declines in GDP. And this year, we are already recovering fully, and we are expected to reach the GDP level as at pre-COVID time. So we can say that we have been doing really well. This map shows you where the IT talents are. And again, Poland is quite a lucky country because the talents are almost everywhere. So when we talk to investors, when the projects, when different locations are considered for projects, the possibilities are really vast for investors because wherever they go, whether it's Warsaw, Krakow, Katowice, everywhere actually they have access to IT talents. Why? Because everywhere we have good universities. Katowice, Silesia also has such good access to talents and to different universities, and also R&D institutes, different companies, startups. These are almost in every major region in Poland. So development, the technology progress is actually attributed to almost every big region. About the programmers, I need to say something more because this is the biggest asset of Poland nowadays, and I think the biggest magnet for technology investor. It's estimated that in Central Eastern Europe, we have about 1 million programmers. Very big pool of that number, 400,000, is located in Poland. So we are very lucky, but still we would need even more because of the number of projects going on in our country. But coming back to programmers, in various global rankings, Polish programmers are shown as one of the best in the world. In some programming languages like Java, we are even #1 in the world. So this is huge asset of Poland and a great magnet for investments in technology projects in Poland. What is also special about the Polish programmers, there are many unique skills apart from programming skills that are appreciated. They are considered to be among the most tenacious programmers who never give up. They are very ambitious. They like to do challenging tasks. So they speak English. They speak also other languages. A lot of them speak German, Russian, and French. This information, it's again quite interesting. This shows you the range of nationalities and the range of languages that is actually typical for one that in fact takes place in one company only. It's an example of a very big IT player. This company is located in different regions in Poland. And what is very impressive that is they employ almost 2,000 special IT specialists, but about 1,000 is Polish, and the rest come from practically all over the world, including even Brazil. So this shows you how attractive Poland is for foreign IT people, for foreign workers. And this is amazing that in one company only, we can work with so many nationalities and we can speak so many languages. About this ecosystem, my agency doesn't particularly deal with startups because we deal with all sorts of companies. I would like to share some very basic information to give you some overview, because the startup ecosystem in Poland, although young, is very well developed already. We think that there is almost 5,000 startup companies in Poland. Majority of them, they are IT companies. They are well prepared to collaborate with corporations. A lot of them, actually, they already has very strong relations to international clients. A lot of them, they are present on foreign markets. And they have different specialties. One of the main specialty is artificial intelligence. And we have a lot of players, stakeholders in the ecosystem. We have all the big corporations like Microsoft, like Google, like Samsung. They all have some special dedicated programs for startups. We have also special programs for fintech startups. A lot of banks cooperate. They offer special acceleration programs and they support this type of companies in Poland. About the AI, a few more words. This is the map of AI of Poland created by the Digital Poland Foundation. It's interesting to see that we have really AI solutions for so many different fields of life, to so many different sectors. In terms of the pool of AI specialists, we have the biggest number of them in Central Eastern Europe, and we are 7th largest market for AI specialists in the European Union. Coming back to big players, as I said, Google has very strong cooperation, very strong presence in Poland. We have the Google campus. Actually, the whole international global network of this Google campus is coordinated, managed from Warsaw. We have Polish people, you know, with the global, on the global level, managing the network. But Google is not only for startups. Google also has R&D engineering center. They have innovation center. So a lot of innovation R&D activities performed for Google in Poland. Another big player, Microsoft, another player that closely cooperates with Polish companies, with startups, especially with AI companies. Recently, they set up in Poland the Microsoft Technology Center, which is first such center in this part of Europe. And in that center, they do a lot of cooperation projects for AI startups, and they promote them. They assist also in the expansion. So they have also dedicated program for Polish startups. So we value such players a lot, and they are very important participants in the startup ecosystem. What's more, Google and Microsoft, these two companies, last year they declared the biggest in the history investments in digitalization of Poland, in a data hub, in data center. The total value of the investments are $3 billion US. So the investments already started, and they will be continued in the nearest years. They are done in partnership with Polish Development Fund and the state bank, the main state bank, PKO BP in Poland. Another and the last reason that I would like to mention among the reasons why we attract so many technology investments and innovative projects is the financing. If you do R&D, if you do an innovation and you come to Poland, you can be sure that there will be some program, some support scheme that you can benefit from. Apart from some government incentives like cash grants and CIT exemptions, we have dedicated incentives for R&D. Tax incentives, you can deduct your R&D expenses from your taxable base even twice in Poland. You have special, if you sell your IP rights, you have special tax rate of 5% for your income. And you can obtain also a special status of R&D center, and then you can even benefit even more from various deductions. So it's we have very attractive support schemes for technology projects. And apart from all these schemes that I mentioned, we also have a lot of EU funding for such projects. We just finished the previous period of financing from the Smart Growth Operational Program, and you will be maybe interested to know that 420 R&D centers were co-financed from that only one EU fund. So in the next 6 years, we are going to have another program under different name, but supporting similar activities. So there will be another batch of money available for R&D technology projects. Finally, I would like to mention about a dedicated program for startups that Poland is now offering. And this offered not by our agency, but another one that supports small and medium-sized companies. It's called Agency for Enterprise Development. And this agency has recently opened a program called Poland Prize. And under this program, foreign startups that want to register themselves in Poland, they can apply to selected accelerators to be part of the acceleration program and to get up to 60,000 euro. There are different stages financed from that scheme, soft landing stage, you can finance your registration, you can have a lot of facilitation of your first steps in Poland, and then you can work on your proof of concept. So this program will finance a lot of a lot of activities at the initial stage of starting your startup in Poland. So I encourage you to get more information if you consider setting up your startup in Poland. Only this is now we have second edition of that program. And let me tell you the results of the previous edition. As a result, we have more than 100 foreign startups launched in Poland already. We had 3,000 applications from 70 countries. It was a very successful edition, the pilot edition, and this is why we decided to have a second edition of that program. So that's all from me. I hope I convinced you that Poland is really attractive market for technology and R&D projects. If you have any questions concerning Poland, attractiveness of Poland for technology projects, about the schemes, incentives, please get in touch with our agency, get in touch with me. I will be more than happy to provide you more details. So thank you very much. I wish you fruitful further discussion, and I hope you will have a lot of useful connections as a result of that project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Schroeder, for your presentation. These two presentations that we had, I think, gave us quite a strong informational background. And we can see that there is a wide field for mutual cooperation between countries. Now, we're going to be moving to the final point of the agenda, so to the presentation of Brasilesia Accelerator, which is going to be presented by both Polish and Brazilian partners together in one presentation that is going to be started by Ms. Adriana Ferreira de Faria, Executive Director of Technology Park of Viçosa, Technopark. Then next is going to Mr. Robert Bieleń from Inventor Capital is going to speak. Ms. Katarzyna Papież-Pawelczak from Spinas Ltd. And Mr. Mateusz Rzeszowski from Katowice Special Economic Zone Co. So please, Ms. Faria, please take the floor.
Thank you so much. So good morning from Brazil, good afternoon for our partners in Poland. It's a great honor and joy to be able to present Brasilesia Accelerator, Polish-Brazilian acceleration program. We are very excited after to see all these numbers, impressive numbers, and it's a great opportunity for everyone. First of all, I would like to thank our partners, Katowice Special Economic Zone, Spinas, subsidiary of University of Silesia, the Invento, Polish Venture Capital, the Technology Park of Viçosa, University Research Park of the Federal University of Viçosa, the Secretary of Economic Development of Minas Gerais State, the Foundation for Research Support of Minas Gerais State, Minas Gerais Investment and Trade Promotion Agency, and the Embassy of Brazil in Warsaw. So thank you so much for this opportunity to work together to develop the Brasilesia Accelerator. Robert, you can say, great, thank you. So what is our mission? Why are we here? So technology-based innovation is not so easy. So we believe that the way to make the innovation happen, it's by the interaction between the companies, the universities, and the government in a model that we know as a triple helix model. So we are here to help the companies, the entrepreneurs innovate and make business abroad. So we invite startups, small, medium enterprises to our joint acceleration program dedicated to Polish and Brazilian entrepreneurs. We believe that together and with programs, tools, support, we could offer together Brazilian partners and Polish partners many benefits to all the entrepreneurs. So we offer entrepreneurs from Brazil and Poland chance too in this our program. Validate market potential with experts from both countries. Expand to a new market, especially a broad market in a soft land support program. Find foreign business partners, clients, distributors, and institutions of research and development and the university. Find new foreign teams members, find technological partners, especially academic research institutions, and I hope so, find investors. So we are looking for companies, projects, and firms in the operating, especially in artificial intelligence and robotics, fintech, agriculture and food, medtech, IoT and cloud computing, and clean tech. And of course, we'd also put special attention to impact and the sustainability of the projects selected for our program.
Good morning to all guests. Good afternoon to Polish guests. And together with Kasia, Adriana, and Mateusz, we are going to guide you through the program. I have now a great privilege and pleasure to tell you about the framework and some activities we planned for Polish and Brazilian entrepreneurs. The program is dedicated especially for small and medium-sized enterprises and for startups, but for startups with existing at least MVP of product or technology. We invite on board also big companies which are looking for new products, technologies, and are ready for international cooperation and open to ingenuity brought by smaller partners from both countries. Today is a opening webinar when we have a chance to get general insight on prospect for Polish-Brazilian cooperation. But in upcoming weeks, we want to come to some details and present you real offer and program to support entrepreneurs. We created program in a hybrid formula, starting from online activities. Following to today's event, we are going to organize 2 additional webinars focusing on particular business sectors, which Ariana mentioned, to present you and to bring you some closer view on both market for entrepreneurs. And finally, in the end of September, we are going to start a call for startups and SMEs who are ready for international cooperation and are keen to new market discovery. We want to select at least 12 companies, 6 from Poland and 6 from Brazil, who will work with. And for those companies, we are going to offer special 3 months online workshops and trainings covering the 3 main subjects like how to build a scalable international firm, how to discover new markets and clients' needs, and how to raise capital from VC funds. Together with Polish and Brazilian partners, we are also preparing some investment tickets for best startups. What is more, we are also available and invite on board venture capital firms from Poland and Brazil. So we are sure that well-prepared and trained entrepreneurs will raise needed money during the demo day and successfully will close big rounds of investment. But what is the most unique in our program is that for best prepared firm looking for clients and partners abroad, we are offering special soft landing support, including access to offices and business premises, dedicated manager who will guide your firm through the first months when you go abroad, We will give you all support you need to incorporate new company and to hire employees. And we will give you our help to find local partners, distributors, some academic institutions to cooperate, and maybe some source of funding you need to achieve. We hope that the program we launch in the end of September will meet entrepreneurs' expectations. And we believe that building bridge between these two emerging and significant ecosystems will bring us breakthrough projects and technologies we could together create and develop. As you see on my screen now, and what is presented and what was presented by Pedro and Agnieszka, Poland and Brazil are thriving startup ecosystems. As you see, in 2020 in Poland, invested money to startup rise about 70%, and almost $500 million has flown to Polish startups. Now in Poland, we have got more than 100 active venture capital firms ready to invest in 3 to 5 next year's few $1 billion with strong support from Polish institutions like Polish Development Fund or National Center for Research and Development. So this is a good moment, I believe, for innovators to build a scalable startup and to dare to think globally. All this information you could also find on our website. And if you have any question regarding this program and you want to more information, how to participate and what you can achieve from us, please ask the question after the webinar or contact us directly through the contact details visible on the website. Now I want to pass the floor to other co-founders and partners of Brasilesia. Mateusz, please follow me and present Katowice Special Economic Zone.
Yes, thank you. Now we'd like to tell you something about our companies, some useful information in general. The Katowice Special Economic Zone is a state-owned company that was founded in 1996. The mission of Katowice Special Economic Zone is to support development of new investments in its managed area, taking into account the development needs of our region and economic goals set out in strategic documents. Katowice Special Economic Zone acts as a regional investor support center in the Silesia region. The main way we support investors that are willing to start their businesses here in Silesia is by giving them CIT or PIT exemptions. Those exemptions can be as high as 55% of the total investment costs. So it can be quite a big help for the investors willing to start their project in our region. We believe that it is within our way to help you in this project via the Brasilesia accelerator. So if you've got any questions you'd like to ask, feel free to contact us after this webinar. Thank you so much.
Dear guests, as one of the co-founder of our Brazilian program, Brasilesia, I'm so happy that after a very fruitful time for the preparing our program, today is a special day for us, special time that we can kick off this our program. So that's why please let me introduce why we are here and why we are founders from Polish side, because after me, of course, Adriana introduced the Brazilian partners. So Spinos, I'm so happy that the Brazilian partners called us Spinas. So it's like a planet. We are so happy that it's completely different, but I'm happy. Spinos is a special purpose vehicle founded by university, by Silesia University. And we provide access to technology, to know-how from university researchers through creating, first of all, spin-off companies, IPR licensing and sales, academic expertise and technical services, let's say. So in a few words, just Spinos helps researchers and students to apply their research for wider, let's say, economic and of course, social benefits. Our role is to help university staff and students bring them benefits of their research and expertise to create impact in the wider society. Of course, Invento is a Polish venture capital investors focus especially on the early stage investments, but we need to think that and need to know that is an investment not only from Poland side, but from CE region, and now is from Brazil side as well. And Invento has also created and manages seed funds, but also business angels, network and accelerator. And we cooperate, of course, with the Polish National Research and Development, targeting first of all R&D projects. So we have, Invento has an office in Katowice, but we create and spite a lot of businesses which is connected with the Polish and foreign market. But when I ask Adriana to introduce Brazilian partners, let me encourage you to join with our Brasilesia program, because it's not a program that, let's say, comes and goes. It's a program that will persist. So we have a unique ability to attract the best young companies, SMEs, startups, and offers top quality, let's say, workshops and experienced mentors, which will have a great value for participants. As we notice and as we heard from our previous speakers, Poland has an incredible talent, but we still require nurturing and professionalism. So I think that it will be a great and wonderful opportunity to get to know with the newest technologies, as well as for startups. They will be the best place to learn how to scale their business. So I think from our side, and I'm sure that the Brazilian has the same notion, that it will be hub for Brazilian and for Polish venture to interact with the international and Brazilian expert, and also accelerate to Brazilian market. So Adriana, okay.
When you now see who backed the program, you will probably acknowledge that the program was created by partners who combined all the tools you need to be fully equipped and to start business abroad. We've got a special economic zone who will give you the support in soft landing. We'll have on board academic institution who will give you the support to access laboratories or some innovators you need on board. And you've got also involved venture capital investor and ecosystem who will give you a chance to raise the money. So thank you from Polish side, and I now pass the floor to Adriana to present Brazilian partners.
So thank you so much. I'm very happy. It was almost 4 months of hard work with this team here to provide this amazing program. And I hope that the startups from Brazil and Poland don't waste this opportunity. You don't pay anything to participate of this program. It's an international opportunity with which this country has the best of the universities and the competent and professionals who will provide the best tools for this program will be a success. So about the Brazilian partners, I would like to provide this slide just to complement the information provided by Pedro and by Ivan, almost about the Brazil. Brazil is the 5th largest country in the world, is the 12th largest economy. But we are looking for projects, technoparks especially, that the companies and the startup that can provide technology, artificial intelligence, IoT, drones, to provide to agribusiness and forest. Why? Because the Federal University of Viçosa, it's a top 10 university in Brazil, and it's the most important university in the world in the agriculture and the forest. So besides that, the agribusiness represents almost 20% of the GDP of Brazil. It's a large sector, and we have a lot of opportunities in the sector, especially bring technology for the sectors. In the same way about the forest, where the 6% of the industrial DPD came from the sectors. And all that, it's important to say, especially for the partner, the Poland partners, you can pass, Robert, can run the next slide. Yes. So it's important to say about the agribusiness and forest sector in Brazil, that Brazil is a sustainable country. So we have almost 85% of our Amazon forest preserved, and we have almost 66% of our territory is preserved. And our energy grid, it's a renewable energy, about 82%. So we're looking for the technologies, companies that can provide more competitivity in these two sectors, that they are so important for us, and that have a great opportunity to provide new jobs for our country. So that's why this program is so important for us, Technology Park. So about the Brazilian partners, I'm Adriana. I'm professor at Federal University of Viçosa, and I'm current dean and the executive director of Technology Park of Viçosa. Viçosa is a small city in Minas Gerais state, but it is the 50th among the cities in Minas Gerais state to live, and is the home of the Federal University of Viçosa, which is the top 10 university in Brazil, and is among the 10 most entrepreneurial university in Brazil. And so the Technology Park of Viçosa belongs to the University Federal of Viçosa. It's a university research park. Here you have a view of our headquarters, where we have almost 4,000 square meters to the companies and to develop of companies. Here we have a lot of programs about acceleration, for incubation and resident companies in our technology park. In our history, we have supported more than 300 and startup and small business with consultancy, networking, mentoring, and the networking and the relationship not only with the university, but with other partners. So our other Brazilian partners are the Secretary for Economic Development of Minas Gerais State, represented here by Pedro, the Foundation for Research Support of Minas Gerais State, FAPEMIG, the Minas Gerais Investment and Trade Promotion Agency, represented here by Ivan, and the Embassy of Brazil in Warsaw, represented here by the Nelson, who is going to make the next presentation. So thanks so much, and I hope to see everyone in our next webinar and acceleration program.
Thank you very much, Ms. De Faria. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite Mr. Nelson Linheres, the head of ST&I sector at the Embassy of Brazil in Warsaw, to make a speech. Mr. Linheres, please take the floor.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I first would like to congratulate everyone from the Brazilian side and from the Polish side, University of Viçosa, the government of the state of Minas Gerais, Spinos, Invento, the University of Silesia. We are so excited to see that the talks that started a couple months ago have evolved so consistently. And before anything, we want to reinforce to both sides and also to all the Brazilian and Polish startups and companies that are watching us right now, that they can always count with the help of the Brazilian Embassy in Warsaw to help develop this program and other initiatives and all other initiatives around innovation and technology. As many of you might know, if we think of traditional trade, the trade of goods and services, unfortunately, the figures for Brazil and Poland trade are still relatively small. And we truly believe here at the Brazilian Embassy that is through innovation, is through partnerships in science and technology and innovation that we're gonna promote a stronger economic ties. And especially because we all know that we're talking about two important countries, two important economies that have solid science and technology clusters in their regions. Poland in Central Eastern Europe and Brazil in South Latin America. And we are also very glad to see that the fields where we believe there's big potential for cooperation, it's aligned with University of Viçosa thinking and with University of Silesia way of seeing things, which are health tech, agri-tech, clean tech, talking about energy, and also fintech. Not only those, but I could tell that these are sectors that both sides believe in their potential. And talking about initiatives, I would like to take this opportunity to mention the mission for Brazilian startups to Poland that our embassy is organizing. Only yesterday, we advertised, and I'm gonna share it here with you, the call for Brazilian startups to join a virtual and online visit to the InfoShare conference that takes place in Gdańsk in October. So we are going to select 5 top Brazilian startups to participate online at the InfoShare conference. But not only that, we are also going to organize several customized meetings with potential Polish partners, Polish companies, Polish investors, Polish development agencies. And I believe that working with our partners in Silesia will certainly help us build an interesting agenda for Brazilian startups. Let me share a screen with you here, if you allow me. Okay, let's see how. Okay, let me try this. Okay, just 1 second, and I will have this sorted here. Okay, let me share screen. Okay, share. Are you guys seeing the screen I am sharing? Yes?
Yes,
Yes,
we
okay.
can see.
This is in Portuguese, so please, our Polish partners, you don't worry about it, because this is targeted at Brazilian startups. So it's for Brazilian startups to learn about the virtual mission we are organizing. And so that's why it's in Portuguese. So I would like to invite the Brazilian startups who are watching our webinar right now to join our initiative, and I'm sure that we can find a way of converging this initiative with the Brasilesia Accelerator Program. By the 10th of September, or the first week of September, we believe we're going to have the 5 startups who have been selected to participate in the program in October. And we for sure are going to introduce to them the Brasilesia Accelerator Program, so they can also apply to participate in such program. I'm gonna share with everyone here on the messages, okay, the short link for this initiative that I've just presented. I've just shared with everyone on the chat. So if you click on that link, you Brazilian startups, you can apply for our mission. And why not think also of mission of Polish startups to Brazil and to work with our partners in the state of Minas Gerais? That could be the next mission we could organize here from the embassy, and also do it in a way that it goes together with the Brasilesia Accelerator Program. Our proposal here is to converge initiatives to work together. So I think that's it for now. I don't want to get you tired from listening to me. So thank you very much, and hope we meet again soon in one of those initiatives we all mentioned here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Linhares. Also, thank you for the interesting proposal about the mission. And so, ladies and gentlemen, after having seen all the presentations, it is a good time for questions and answers, as well as sharing comments. So please do not hesitate to take the floor. Well, if we don't have any questions, any comments at the moment, well, it's a good time to sum up. We sincerely hope that the Brasilesia Accelerator project will be a great success and will have a fruitful impact on the cooperation between companies and institutions involved in business and in scientific area for the good of the both countries. Poland and Brazil. And we will be looking forward to the next meetings to come in autumn, of which, of course, we will keep everyone informed by our social media, by our web pages, and direct contact. So please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much for your attention. Katarzyna Lipska from Katowice Special Economic Zone was speaking. It was my great pleasure to be the leader of this excellent meeting today and to meet all of you, and hoping for the cooperation in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kasia, for your guidance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Successful.
members and participants, and thank you all of you.
Thank you, everyone. It was really great. Congratulations.
Thank you
We're
very much.
excited. The first Polish-Brazilian program. So, as Mr. Nelson said, we must join our efforts to be more stronger and to succeed.
Exactly. Congratulations to everyone involved.
Thank you, Nelson.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Paulo. So for us,
thank you very much.
Lunchtime.
So staying with us. I'm just talking to participants. Stay with us, join with us, and
so hopefully to see you in autumn. Bye bye.
Yes. Maybe even before, because in August we are going to organize the second webinar, more focusing on particular sectors, because today, as you know, we've got some helicopter view on our ecosystem and possibility of cooperation, but I think the next webinar will be dedicated for entrepreneurs especially.
Yes.
Give them all knowledge they need to start thinking to going abroad, respectively Poland or Brazil.
That's it. Great.
So, feel invited to the next webinar.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
For you too.